Roche. And here comes Fielder. He double pumps, and the Nationals win the game.
Washington Nationals baseball. Washington Nationals baseball.
It's a day Ernie Banks would love at the ballpark. Indeed. Let's play two. Brewers and Nats after the rainout, and Sunday baseball on Mascot, presented to you by Hyundai. The racing presidents are ready. In fact, they'll have to go double dip today as well. Bob Carpenter and F.P. Santangelo. Now, when you're a ball player, you got to play two. Following up a game Friday night where you won without a hit, now you come out here and have to play a couple 2 days later.
Yeah, you got to focus on the first game. You got to trick yourself into thinking you have one game today. Focus on the first one. Take care of that one. When we go back to Friday night, it just goes to show you how big a win this was. Jason Worth, 0 for 4 going into this at-bat. What does he do? He hustles down the line. That's one thing you can control on a daily basis as a baseball player, is your attitude, your aggressiveness, and your hustle. Jason Worth did a great job of taking third base because the Brewers had their 52nd shift of the game on there. And then McGee was off third. He got a great lead down the line. Just hustle baseball, hustle plays. They haven't been hitting, but they've been doing the little things on offense to win baseball games. Nationals win their third extra inning game in 4 tries this year. And when you're in a position to win close games late, it's usually because you've had pretty good starting pitching. That has been the case with this ball club right out of the gate this year. Yeah, big concern in spring training was the starting pitching. Look at the numbers right there. They've just been fantastic. For Jason Marquis in the first game today, he's good when he's pounding the lower half of the strike zone. He cannot elevate anything today against his Brewers team. He had a good changeup last time in New York. He had a plus changeup. So down in the strike zone, work quick, get ground balls for Jason Marquis today. I love the strikeout to walk ratio, 11/2 in his first 2 starts. He deserves a W after an ERA of 3.65. And then for the Brewers, there's 25-year-old Giovanni Gallardo. Any team in baseball would love to have this guy on their staff. He's thrown a complete game against Atlanta, and in his career, 2-0 with a 2.70 ERA in 4 starts against your Nationals. To you by AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, and by Acura. Acura Advance. 60-degree day, clear skies, a lot different than the dreariness of Saturday here at Nationals Park on the banks of the Anacostia.
And we're going to play a couple. Visit Train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. Hard to stop a train, and our game time conditions, 60. A little gusty, not very humid, sunny, windy. And the flags are blowing toward the right field corner today. Look at that, the Nats and the Rockies, only two teams with at least 5 out of every starter this year. June 4th of 09, if I remember correctly, Randy Johnson won a milestone ball game in that doubleheader. I think that was 300 for him. And Todd Coffey goes on the DL. Left calf strain. Colin Ballister, who was pitching in late inning setup for Syracuse, is again a part of the Nationals bullpen. Here's Ryan Braun, number 3 in the Milwaukee Brewers starting lineup. They're 10th in the league in hitting, 11th in runs, but 5th in homers. And then there's Prince Fielder right behind him. Nyjer Morgan not in the lineup again this time. Maybe we'll see him in the nightcap as Jason Marquis takes to the mound. 5-9, a 5+ ERA in 17 career starts against the Brewers.
Yeah, fastball, slider, cutter, change. He really had the feel for his slider and his change last Sunday against New York, so it's been a week for Jason Marquis. Remember, he had the 9 strikeout game against the Mets. A lot of times guys that have a lot of rest, sinker guys, have a tendency to be too strong up in the zone, so we'll see for Jason Marquis today. Pounding the lower half of the strike zone is key for him, especially against this hard-hitting Brewers lineup. A defense behind Jason Marquis today, Morse, Ankiel, and Worth in the outfield. Desmond and Alex Cora getting the start in the first game at third base. Espinoza, LaRoche on the right side, and Pudge Rodriguez doing the catching.
Nationals have the second most errors in the league. Houston has 14. Alex Cora, a reliable glove man, contact hitter. He'll be batting 8th. We'll give you the rest of the Nats lineup in the bottom of the inning. Mike Everett has the plate, 13-year veteran. He gets the day off after game 1. Crew chief Mike Winters, Chris Guccione, and then substitute umpire Mike Estabrook comes in, and he'll go over to third base for the nightcap because then Mike Everett will not be working. So the nightcap home plate umpire, Mark Wegner, getting a breather right now. And here comes the first pitch of the ball game at 1:37. It's a bouncer just outside the third base line off the bat of Ricky Weeks, who had a nice ball game here with a single, double, and 2-run homer Friday night. So Weeks checks in at .302 with an on-base percentage for Ron Renicky of .373. Brewers are 7-6. Game and a half back of Cincinnati. The Nats are 6-7. That's a base hit. How about those two cuts? Came into that at bat, 3 of 11 career against Marquis, and he was going to start this doubleheader hacking.
Yeah, a lot of times when you go into a doubleheader as a player and you know you're going to play both games, the thought of 8 to 10 at-bats in one day may overwhelm you. There's no better feeling than getting a knock your first time up. And that's a good sign for the Nationals. Jason Marquis down in the strike zone when he's getting ground balls. It's a good thing. That one just found a hole.
Next up will be veteran Craig Counsell, who usually averages somewhere around 1.5 to 2 at-bats every game he plays. 7 games, 9 ABs. He does not have a hit yet this year. Marquis gets a strike. Last year, case in point, 102 games, 204 at-bats for the Brewers when he hit a respectable .250 as a part-time player. Craig is 40. He'll have a birthday in August. 15th year with the Rockies, Marlins, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Brewers before, Arizona again, and now back to Milwaukee. He broke in with the Rockies in '95 out of Notre Dame. Marquis staying away, 1 ball, 1 strike with that sinking fastball of his. Marquis' 247th career start. Weeks with a fair lead, not a big one. Popped up straight back. Ricky Weeks is very fast, but he's only tried to run once this year, 0 for 1. And of course, that guy behind the plate, he will freeze your running game. Good percentage of over 80%. Pudge is 1 for 3 against opposing base runners so far. And he goes soft. Will change up 2-2.
When you talk about the importance of this first game of a doubleheader, you know, if you're the Nationals, you won the first game of the series. You win this first game, you've won a series. Now Jim Riggleman can put whoever he wants out there the second game. It allows him to almost be like, you know, you're in a casino and you're playing with house money. So you want to win the first game of a doubleheader. You want to win all the games of a doubleheader, but this one becomes far more important because you won the first game of the series.
2-2 pitch, slapped out into right. It's hanging up. Here comes Worth, and he's got it. Jason Worth not hitting a ton, but doing a lot of different things to help this club. With Braun and Fielder coming up, that is huge.
And today the wind is actually blowing out to right field, so you got to wonder if that helped Jason Worth and this baseball stay in the air a little bit longer. We've seen this play from Jason Worth a couple of times already this year. He loves to do the sliding catch. And if you look at the flags in the building far outside of left field, that usually tells you which way the wind is blowing. It's blowing straight out to right today.
Worth very much under control on that slide and on that catch. Your next two hitters are batting .318 and .340 if you're Milwaukee, so that is a big play early in this game. Pudge sets up outside corner. In the zone, top of the zone for a strike.
It's just a good day to hit. I mean, you talk about the weather that the Nationals have had so far at home this year. It's a nice warm day. The wind's blowing out. Watch batting practice today. The ball was flying out of the ballpark.
By the way, the guy behind Tulowitzki in the home run race now is Lance Berkman, who's gone crazy for St. Louis. He and Pujols are hitting the ball like something else, and we'll see them on Tuesday. Braun is just a great hitter. Hits that ball extremely hard to left. No chance for a play at third. And Ryan Braun now already has 15 hits this year. This is game number 14.
Yeah, let's check out the location of this pitch right here from Jason Marquis. There's a fastball in the inner half of the plate. Michael Morris decided to go to third base. Good job of hitting the cutoff man and keeping the double play in order. Let's see the location. See, that's about a one-glove mistake. He was trying to bury that in. We saw how Jason Marquis, handled some of the better hitters in New York and the Marlins by getting that fastball on the inner half of the plate. He left that one out over.
Prince Fielder, 16 at-bats career against Marquis, 6 RBIs on 4 hits, one of them a home run. He has hit into 1 double play this year. He's looking to elevate.
And when you face Jason Marquis, Brewers hitters are looking for a ball belt high. I mean, you go up there, you're not so much looking for a pitch. You know that when Marquis is on, he throws the ball lower than low, the bottom half of the strike zone. So you're going up there today and you're telling yourself, I'm going to elevate this guy. I'm going to look for a ball up in the zone, something I can drive and get on it.
That's playing to pull, but not a shift situation. And Marquis got him in on the hands. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They've combined for 7 home runs and 23 RBIs. On base percentage plus slugging over 1,000 for each. The big question is, how long will they be together? Fielder signed a 1-year contract extension in January to avoid arbitration. Can the Brewers afford to keep him? 1-2 pitch. Got him on a pitch low in the zone. Marquis at 86 miles an hour. Often throws the sinker harder than that, so he might have taken a little bit off here.
Hey, in between a fastball and a changeup from Jason Marquis, but the key to this is the bottom fell out of it. Just a great pitch right there. You look at the grip.
Tumbling action.
Tumbling action. Ball just disappears on Prince Fielder. Great pitch. And that's where you have to be against these guys. They're going to be aggressive early in the count. They're going up there to hit. They're looking for something belt high. That's where Jason Marquis needs to live today.
Here's Marquis and McGee. Base hit. 1-0 Milwaukee. Jason laid one in there, and McGee punished that ball. None of their hits have been cheap. And the Nationals continue to have some problems in the first inning with their starters.
You know, it was a week ago that Jason Marquis pitched, and you talk to anybody that's a sinker ball pitcher that lives on being down in the strike zone. A lot of times sinker ball guys can be too strong with too much rest. So you had the off day on Monday, the rain out yesterday. It's been 7 days since Jason Marquis pitched, and he looks a little too strong right now.
6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs in New York on a couple of walks. Nine strikeouts in that game when he threw 109 pitches. The left-hander Mascot, veteran, hitting 200. One of the Brewers' free agent acquisitions, signed in February after a .239 season with 31 RBIs for the White Sox last year. One of the most unusual stats I've seen. True platoon guy, 78 hits for Chicago last year, every one of them against right-handed pitchers. And this right-hander gets him out. 3 hits and a run for the Brewers. Jason Worth, how big of an inning would that have been without this great catch? Some offense. Their starting lineup today has 7 guys hitting .214 or lower, and 6 of them are below 200. It's packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. Adam LaRoche has his share of hits with a homer and 3 RBIs against Giovanni Gallardo, hitting .214. And here he is. This kid can throw. 25 years of age, 6'2", 210. A second rounder by the Brewers 7 years ago, and he's won 25 games the last 2 seasons.
The last outing against the Cubs, he went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 runs. That was after a complete game the time before. Didn't have as good command. He walked 4 and struck out 2. Fastball, curve, change, slider. Got a pretty good curve. He'll throw a get-me-over curve early in the count. Throw a nasty one with 2 strikes.
Espinosa steps in with an on-base percentage of .362. Danny hitting at .250. 0 for 6 career against Gallardo. And from the left side, Danny is only 5 for 24. But I like that on-base percentage. He's drawn 7 walks to go with his 9 base hits. It's all about getting on base at this top of the order. Brewers, by the way, best staff ERA in the National League at 2.97. San Diego is second at an even 3. So they're giving up fewer runs than anybody in this league. And this is hard to believe. There are 3 American League teams, Oakland, Texas, and the Angels, at 270, 271, and 272. Is the American League becoming a pitching league? How about those numbers? So Milwaukee is right there among the best in baseball as far as their pitching staff so far. Inside target. Espinosa gets jammed, and it'll hang up in center for Carlos Gomez. And they're also second in defense.
And a defense today for the Brewers. Braun, Gomez, and Kotze in the outfield. Council and McGee on the left side. Weeks and Field on the right side. Doing the catching today for the Brewers, Jonathan Lucroy.
5 errors by Milwaukee, a costly one here on Friday night. The Phillies have made 4. And Mark Kotsay, he's always had a great arm. We'll tell you more about his prowess. A lot of assists over his career from the outfield. Rick Ankiel hitting a .180. 0 for 5 on Friday with a couple of strikeouts. That's a fastball up and away. Suddenly 3-0.
Yeah, make him establish the strike zone first time around. If Giovanni Gallardo can tell you that he's throwing strikes, can show you that he's throwing strikes, then you're aggressive. But, you know, he walked 4 his last outing, so you're going to sit there and make him throw strikes.
Ooh, Ankiel had the green light here in the first inning on a 3-0 pitch.
Or not.
And he took a big hack.
I mean, the one thing we've seen from the Nationals so far this season is whatever they're going to do it aggressively. Whether it's run the bases, swing the bat, pitch.
That's where a shortstop usually is, and it's a base hit. Ankiel makes a big turn. It's kind of interesting. Everybody from the Milwaukee party we have talked to this weekend is in total denial that this defense is costing them any hits.
Yeah, I talked to some Milwaukee people today. Some people very close to the ball club, and they said, you know, they have a bunch of spray charts. They know where you're going to hit the ball percentage-wise most of the time. That's why they used all those shifts. But as we saw in Game 1 of the series, and that's all we have to go on, partner, it lost them the baseball game. I can't say it any more frank than that. The couple routine ground balls to second base that might have been double play balls. McGee playing off the line with Jason Worth allowed him to get a big jump. It allowed Jason Worth to steal third base.
And a strike is in there to Worth, hitting 196. 0 for 3 career with 2 strikeouts against Gallardo.
And it's just the evolution of baseball, I guess. You have so much input and feedback with all the stats that you're going to play guys where they've never played before. I mean, there's a reason why guys have stood in the same spot for over 100 years.
A 100 feet of hitting room on the right side. But Worth, of course, looking to drive the ball. And back is Ankiel, who has been successful stealing 2 out of 3 times. Lucroy, the catcher, 1 for 4 in caught stealing. And we'll check out Gallardo and see how quick FP thinks he is to home plate. Short lead by the runner. That was a pitch up, and Worth was pumping.
Those same Brewers people that I talked to also said that the third baseman will never, ever play that far off the line in that situation again.
Yes, we heard that will never happen again. Yeah, they gave Worth about half of the distance to home. 1-2. Phillies have an early run to lead the Marlins. Placido Polanco hit his first of the year, bottom of the first, against Anibal Sanchez. And the Mets got 2 in the first at Atlanta. So some Eastern games are underway. Worth has always hit Milwaukee pretty well, even though he's not been in the same division with them. Off-speed pitch, and smothering that, Lucroy. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now we've seen that Jim Riggleman loves to run on the 2-2 count. Rick Ankiel with good speed. Giovanni Gallardo had about 1-3, 1-3-5 to the plate. That's pretty quick. So Ankiel's going to have to get a good jump and look for an off-speed pitch if he's going to steal second.
Taking some big-time hacks. By the way, that Florida ball club, they've won 3 straight, and they're now just a game behind the Phillies. Two, 1 on, 1 out. And Worth is going to be called out as Mike Everett thought about that one for an extra count before giving the pitcher the call. We may be anxious to see this one on the pitch track from Convergence.
Yeah, not a strike according to that. Jason Worth, as we've seen so far this year, got a great idea of the strike zone. And it's just funny to me. They had the shift on for Worth. You know, 3 guys on the left side of the infield there, and they pitched Jason away. So not even playing towards the shift. Three infielders on the left side, and then pitch him away. Got away with it right there.
Convergence Technology and Citrix, the winning team to desktop virtualization. Call the experts 301-860-1960 or visit convergencetech.us. Interesting for a pitcher to get that call early in the game before anything's been established, really. And Mike Everett, as I mentioned, thought about that for a while before calling that ball a strike, which was about 2 baseballs off the plate. LaRoche at 214. He's seen a lot of Gallardo in his time with the Pirates in the same division. 16 career ABs, a homer, 3 RBIs.
Now, we've talked, partner, a lot about umpires hunting strikes. When a pitcher has a good tempo and good command, they will look for strikes. They will stalk strikes when there's a doubleheader.
I don't really know why. The pitch is either a strike or it's not, no matter how many games you're playing or how many innings you're playing. Should be anyway.
Absolutely. But they're about tempo, they're about pace, and they know that there's 2 baseball games today.
Well, I personally think umpires can do other things to move the game along other than balls and strikes. That bounces. Good secondary lead, and Ankiel makes it to second base standing up. That's big because now a base hit could tie the game. Ankiel has proven to be a very good base runner so far.
He has. You're looking for a ball in the dirt, something that you could advance on. You see right there the 55-foot curveball from Gallardo, and Rick Ankiel not hesitating to get to second. Little things. Aggressive on the bases.
Obviously a wild pitch.
And now you got to beat the wishbone defense if you're Adam LaRoche.
Well, a bouncer where Ankiel's went would be an RBI. Closest got a shortstop as the base runner. That's outside. Fastball missing. 2-2. Nationals start the day last in the league, batting .209. Third from the bottom in runs. They have given up 8 more runs than they have scored. That was an off-speed pitch, and LaRoche tried to wait for it. How is this team 6-7? They draw a lot of walks. They're very patient.
They're 6-7, and they haven't hit yet.
Yeah.
I talked to Mike Rizzo this morning. I said, that's a good sign. You guys aren't locked in at the plate. You haven't hit your stride offensively, and you're 1 game under 500.
Team has an on-base percentage of .308. LaRoche is late, and the Nats are gone. 1-0 Milwaukee. Beautiful day to visit the Atlantic and the Pacific at the wonderful World War II Memorial. Milwaukee. Let's have a look at our Luna double. Call for up to 70% off all flooring. 877-241-LUNA. Shop smart. Shop Luna. Speaking of the number 2, Jason Worth is second in the league in home runs since the 1st of September last year. Tulowitzki went crazy last year with 15 September homers. Now he's hit 7 in April. Right by the pitcher, off the hands of Lucroy, and Danny Espinosa gets Jason Marquis a 1-pitch out. We're going to be with you for a long time today. Settle in, enjoy some baseball on Masson. Cheer the Nats, cheer the Caps. A lot going on today. And we're so happy you're with us for at least 18 innings of baseball. Here's Gomez, the center fielder, batting 8th. I remember as a kid dragging my older sister to a Sunday doubleheader, making her sit with me, watching baseball for 6 hours. She would have rather been with her friends. Oh boy, we just don't get this anymore. This is great. And that last doubleheader we talked about against the Giants, that was a twilight doubleheader. There were some rain issues during that scenario. But this is like the old days here today. 0-2. Swing and a miss, and plus on top of that, there's a birthday boy in the house today. Happy birthday, Screech. Screech is 6 years old today. You are huge for 6, brother. Let's see what flavor. I think I'll go for one of the vanillas. Screech is passing out cupcakes today.
Well, Screech is here. Screech, you remember in Florida I had your back with the Marlin? I told him that the Eagles eat fish. I got you, dude.
Hey, now watch out. Giovanni Gallardo won the Silver Slugger last year. Last season, he hit .254 with 4 homers and 10 RBIs. Out-hitting some utility men in the league. And that's down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. And for his career, 8 homers, 24 RBIs, and a .216 batting average. Pitchers are pretty proud of Silver Sluggers, I'll tell you that. Here's a 1-1. You know, by the way, this booth is higher than Screech has ever flown. You okay up here, buddy? He's a little dizzy. And a 1-2 as Marquis tries to work 1-2-3 to the bottom of the order, and he will. Collecting his 3rd strikeout. Morse, Desmond, and Pudge coming up. Jason settling in a 1-0 game. Six and 7 for the Nats. 6 being the big number today. As Screech is 6 years old. Happy birthday, buddy. Show us what you got there. Yeah.
Where's your headset? You got to put a headset on so we can talk to you.
He doesn't talk, he whistles.
We're going to throw him out the window here and see if he can fly in a second. Happy birthday, Screech.
Congratulations.
Happy
6
birthday.
years old.
All right.
All right, time to get back to work. Fly out of here.
All right, now beat it.
He's very well spoken. And here's Michael Morris, who leads off, bottom of the second.
That is a good mascot. I like Screech. I told you in Florida that I'm scared of mascots. I don't love mascots, but he is very cool.
I'll tell you what.
I'm a big fan.
He looks a lot better since he started giving away these cupcakes and not eating them. 2 years ago, he was huge. But he is the new svelte and fit Screech.
Just sitting around the nest all day, not doing anything.
Morris with a little ground ball to McGee. Plays it well. First out. Michael Morris came into that at bat, hitting 182. Double dip here today. It's Marco Estrada, the former Nat, and Levon in the nightcap. And then on to St. Louis to take on the Cardinals with an 8 o'clock game on Tuesday night. In that 3-game series, John Lennon and Jake Westbrook. Wednesday, Jordan Zimmerman and Jaime Garcia, Tom Gorzolani, and Kyle Loesch. Loesch always tough on the Nats, but the Nationals will miss Chris Carpenter in that 3-game series. And that's never a bad thing. The St. Louis Ball Club has come alive, winning 4 straight. They're now only a game and a half back of the Reds in the Central. Here's Ian Desmond hitting a .173. Interesting thing about that graphic on the pitching we showed you earlier. The Nats pitching last year was horrendous in the first 13 games of the season as opposed to this year. But the ball club was 7-6 because they were pounding the ball all over the place. But bad pitching is going to catch up with you at one point, and Desmond's gone. That'll be his 14th strikeout of the year. But I mean, look at these numbers. You would think last year at this point the team would be like 3-10 or 4-9. They were 7-6. This year it's a question of pitching, defense, but no hitting. So it goes to show, FP, if you pitch well and catch the ball, you always have a chance.
Yeah, this is always going to be there. I mean, if you ask me which one I would like, last year's hitting versus this year's pitching, I'll take pitching any day of the week. I saw pitching win a World Series last year. So if these guys continue to pound the strike zone, the hitting's going to come. As the weather warms up, hitters usually do too. It is tough to hit in cold weather. I'm not making excuses for these guys. They've been, battling, trying to get on base, doing some things with their base running to keep them in baseball games. But like I said, you look at the numbers and you look at where they are offensively, and they're 1 game under 500. They keep playing defense and pitching. They're going to win a lot of baseball games.
The pitching staff has done a couple of things. They've held opponents overall to 239, while the Nats are batting 209. And we mentioned the on-base percentage the ball club is featuring at 308. Which is not great, but it's decent. Opponents only have a 306 on base percentage. So everything the offense isn't doing, Jim Riggleman's pitching staff is doing.
A lot of times, though, you have to go with what your eyes are telling you, and maybe not so much the stat book. It's early in the season. I think stats are very valuable when all of a sudden there's 4 or 5 months in a season, but we're in 14 games into a year. Go with what your eyes are telling you. And this team's doing more things right than they're doing wrong. They're playing the game the right way. They're approaching the game on a daily basis the way you're supposed to as a professional baseball player. And it's been fun to watch so far.
Pudge, I thought he better be running, but then they said no swing on the appeal down to first. That was borderline. And, of course, I guess from the umpire standpoint, if you take off running, he's convinced you thought you swung.
Yeah, that's the old catch-22 right there. If you take off running, you're telling him you swung. But Pudge did not go.
Like a KG veteran, he just stands in there and starts doing some housekeeping like nothing happened. Then he got the call. That's a call that's going to go to Gallardo. Marquee 3 strikeouts. Gallardo 4. 1-0 Brew Crew after 2. pros. And with more on this pitching we've been talking about, here's Debbie.
Thanks, Bob. Well, the Nationals join the Rockies as the only two teams in baseball that have had all of their starters go at least 5 innings in each start. And to Jim Riggleman, that's big.
How far that starter goes has so much impact on the rest of the game, the rest of the week, the rest of the month. You know, it really allows you to use your bullpen the way you want to use it, not overuse it. And so starting pitching is crucial, and our starters have really done a good job.
And Jim said too, Bob and FP, as you talked about earlier, once the offense starts rolling around, this could be a heck of a ball club.
Well, I'd rather wait for offense to warm it up with the weather than hope a bad pitching staff turns things around. And that's what the Nats have working for them. You're always in a ball game when you pitch well and catch it once it's hit. Nobody can catch the drive Weeks hit, base hit first inning. Then he scored 2 singles later, and he's having a good series. Ricky Weeks is 4 for 6. Batting average up to .315.
What was Sean Burnett telling us today? Ricky Weeks and Prince Fielder.
They all played AAU ball together.
They're on the same team. I said, I want to coach that team.
Said Ricky Weeks was the littlest guy on the team. And of course he developed as the years went by, and he matured, and he's become a really good ball player. He went to Southern University, where he was a 2-time All-American. That's in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. He was a Golden Spikes guy, hitting .479 in a league that doesn't get a whole lot of baseball attention. That's how good he was. Great pitch by Marquis. He hit .479 the year after he hit .495 at Southern in Baton Rouge.
And Jason Marquis starting to feel it a little bit out there on top of his pitches. All of a sudden down in the strike zone. Good bite on that slider.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him on the inside corner. He doesn't like the call. He'll have a word and then walk away. And each pitcher now has 4 strikeouts.
And this is a pitch he was featured so well last outing in New York. You check out the pitch right there, just a little change up on the inner half of the plate. A lot of times right-handers won't throw right-handers change-ups. You see right there from Jason Marquis, just a nice pitch with 2 strikes.
It might have been a changeup that would have broken his bat had he swung. Here's Counsell, who flared one to right, robbed by Worth first time. And Counsell has started the season 0 for 10. He has 10 career hits with a home run and 2 RBIs against Jason Marquis. And that would be one of his 41 career home runs in 14 years. Good character guy. He can play anywhere for you. Lines one, and now he has his first hit of the year. Espinosa timed his leap perfectly, but couldn't get up there. Expect a season full of action here at Nationals Park. We've been telling you about the all-inclusive Power Pack ticket, starting at just $25. It's a season-long plan that offers not only parking, which is huge here, food and drink. Go to nationals.com/powerpack for more information. And the marketing geniuses I've been talking to lately tell me that all-inclusive is kind of the coming thing now in baseball with tickets.
And that expected thing, that's like traffic in D.C., right? Just expect it.
You know, it's there were all-inclusive resorts, and now there are going to be all-inclusive ballparks. What's next? Beach and golf after the game?
I'm in.
Ryan Braun, solid single to left field first time up. That moved Weeks over to third, and then McGee drove him in with a base hit.
Stay down there. That's a good pitch from Jason Marquis. That's where you want the baseball against these big sluggers the Brewers have. Bottom of the strike zone. Good late break on the slider. Now you got him leaning out over the plate. And if you remember with Hanley Ramirez in Florida, Jason Marquis did a great job of that 2-seam fastball, just burying it in the back half of the strike zone. The dangerous part about that is when you go into these big sluggers, you have to get it in. If you leave it out over the plate, they will do some damage.
No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. He hammers it. Look at LaRoche. Shortstop for 1. Back to first. Safe. Almost an unbelievable double play. How about that glove work by Adam LaRoche?
I mean, the more we see of this guy, the more we love. I mean, that ball was absolutely smoked. Adam LaRoche does a nice job of giving with it. You know what? That's a great throw by him, too, folks. His arm is absolutely barking. We've chronicled what's wrong with his arm. So for him just to get it there like that with that much on it, yeah, I'm sure, you know, a healthy Adam LaRoche stands up and fires a seed right there to Ian Desmond, but he just got rid of it, got enough on it. Not enough to turn the double play, but a great play by Adam LaRoche.
Quick return by Desmond made it close, and here's Fielder. I think we've already seen 3 or 4 plays at first base that have indicated how much better the Nationals are defensively. That was really something. I mean, that ball was in the right field corner. Until he got a piece of it. RBI today for Casey McGee, his 7th of the year. And Prince will hack that one foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jason Marquis, his 306th career game. Start number 247. Yeah, he worked in relief for a while. Feeling his way as a young Atlanta pitcher on a great staff of veterans. Now the 1-2 is a changeup low and away. Nice crowd. Beautiful day. First of 2. We love it when you're here with us on Masson, but if you're looking for something to do later, there's 1 3/4 ball games remaining here today. That's a little bit up and away, and Marquis was starting to walk to the dugout.
Well, that pitch looked like it was a little off the plate. He wants that ball down in the strike zone, too. You don't want to mess around belt high to Prince Fielder.
That is scary. The 3-2 runner will be moving with LaRoche playing behind Braun, and Fielder fouls it away. Prince, youngest ever to hit his first 50 home runs at the age of 23 in 139 days back in 07. Quicker than Willie Mays. And he was the first Brewer that year voted to the All-Star game by the fans since Paul Molitor back in '88. One of his 2 All-Star teams. He also won the Silver Slugger that year. And a 3-2. He'll be reaching for it and pull it. That'll be an easy play for LaRoche. And if my partner is afraid of mascots, he's going to need professional help after this one today. They're all in town for Screech's birthday.
Ah! Fans, Masson has a new show dedicated to you, the fan, and it is awesome. The Mid-Atlantic Sports Report brings daily news and information about the Nationals and the rest of the league if they care. This week, Debbie sits down with Pudge Rodriguez. Amber Theo Harris catches up with Matt Capps at Camden Yards. Join Tom Davis, Phil Wood, Dave Johnson, and Mel Antonin Monday through Friday from 5:30 to 6:30 right here on Masson.
Yeah, and by the way, Matt Capps is the Twins closer again. Joe Nathan out for a while. And so it's Capps. Bottom of the third here, Cora. And now that our brilliant cameraman, Tom Ward, has shown us how to operate our new TV here in the booth, FP and I will be tuned in to the Masson Report every weekday from 5:30 to 6:30 when we are here at home. We want to hear what those guys have to say.
We just want to hear what they have to say about us.
Then we're going to steal some of their best material to use during the game. I don't think they've done a segment on us yet, and I don't expect them to. If we're not making news, FP, that's fine with me.
Stay out of the news.
182 Cora's average. 2 for 7 career against Giovanni Gallardo, who's got some serious command going right now. Look at that. He's getting guys out on pitches that are bouncing. And that is his 5th strikeout. Well, today is another one of these Harris Teeter family fun pack days at the ballpark. We do it every Saturday and Sunday when the Nats are home, starting at $14. It includes a ticket, hot dog, chips, and a Coke. Go to nationals.com/family for ticket information. Thanks to our friends at the best grocery store I've ever set foot in, Harris Teeter. There's Jason Marquis. Debbie said a couple years ago she loves their produce. Give me the bakery, man. Here's a good hitting pitcher, 200 career average, 1 for 4 on the year. Probably the best hitting pitchers matchup in baseball today, Gallardo and Marquis. See if they can get each other out. Jason has already struck out Giovanni.
They better get him before he gets to that nasty curveball he just threw Cora.
Marquis gets a piece of it. It's by the mound. Here comes Weeks with the glove. And Prince has to stretch to keep Marquis from legging out a hit. Jason was smelling a base hit right there. Well played by Ricky Weeks.
And we saw Hustle win the Nationals the game the other night. Look at Jason Marquis smelling a hit right here. A lot of times pitchers just jog down to first base. Ricky Weeks probably flipped that ball a little higher than he wanted to. Had a little hang time on it. Allowed Marquis to make it closer than it should have been.
Top of the order, Espinoza. The Nationals, first time through the order, 1 base hit. And that was Rick Ankiel. And now they played their shortstop in a natural position where he hit the ball last time. Right where Craig Counsell is now standing is where Ankiel's ball scooted through the infield. Now if he wants to really drive him crazy, he needs to single right up the middle. 2-0. Pretty well straight away in the outfield. Carlos Gomez, the center fielder, about 2 cuts of the grass toward left center. Target in, and Keel takes it high.
Hey, this is where you think a double. You got 2 outs, nobody on. You're Danny Espinosa. You got a little bit of pop. You've worked a 3-1 count off a pretty good pitcher. You're looking for a ball out over the plate. And you're going to be very aggressive right here. Swing hard.
He does. This is a dunker down the left field line, slicing well out of play. 3-2.
I mean, that's the reward, right? When you worked hard up there in the middle of an at-bat to get to a 3-1 count. Now, that's the payoff. Hey, I worked hard to get to 3-1. This guy's dealing right now. He's got great command of all of his pitches. So now what's my reward as a hitter? I sit dead red. I'm looking for a fastball out over the plate, and I'm going to be very aggressive and swing hard.
So it's 3-2 to Espinosa. Had to check to see if that bat was broken or not. And he pulls it this time. Gonna check that bat again. That one was down by the trademark.
I broke 3 bats in 3 pitches off Kevin Brown one night. And Joe Orsolak came up to me the next day. He was on the Marlins. He said, FP, how's that Easton contract? Meaning I need an aluminum bat.
That's a week's worth, huh?
Yeah.
3-2 to Danny. Out to the shortstop. Right there is Counsell. Gallardo continues to dominate. Beautiful day for a visit to the Jefferson Memorial. Beautiful Sunday in D.C. Today, Gallardo just a little bit better than Marquis, who's given up 4 hits. 9 strikeouts between the two, and then 3 singles in the first to score.
Yeah, the Brewers came out swinging in the first inning. Jason Marquis was a little bit up in the strike zone. He didn't have his good stuff yet. You see the ground ball between short and third, the line drive there to left field, and McGee shoots the 6th hole, and maybe somewhere in the Brewers dugout, Ron Renicky is chuckling, because if there was 3 guys on the left side of the infield, those balls wouldn't have got through.
I like the word the Nats are positioned.
Me too.
Top of the 4th, and here is McGee. He had singles in his last 2 at-bats on Friday, so suddenly he has 3 in a row. Marquis whistles a fastball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Left-hander coming, and Kotsay, and then Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. Great breaking ball. Marquis, his motion, he's so free and easy right now.
He is, and you know, he's switching it up. He's throwing sliders in fastball counts, changeups in fastball counts, fastballs and off-speed counts. That's what he has to do, besides being in the bottom half of the strike zone, to be effective.
Shakes off a couple there. Let's see what he wants. He wants that breaking ball, and McGee just gets the top of it. Marquis 2-9 with a 6.60 ERA in 13 starts last year, but much better when he came back from his surgery. Ask about the Nats, MASNsports.com. Drop us an email. We'd love to hear from you with your baseball question. This ball will be out of play to the right side. Nice crowd. Everybody enjoying some sunshine finally. Been a chilly week, very windy. Still a breeze blowing today, but even 60 degrees under the sun feels pretty good. And McGee goes up the middle. That'll be a hit. Danny Espinosa had no chance to throw him out. And McGee now has hits in 4 consecutive at-bats over 2 games. Here's Mark Kotze, who bounced out to Espinosa first time. Talked earlier about what a good outfielder he is, and a pretty good hitter too. Now Milwaukee has 6 hits, all singles. 279 career hitter Kotze, 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah, obviously the game plan for the Brewers today is to get Marquis early in the at-bat. I mean, they're coming up very aggressive, a lot of first pitch hacking. Hey, what do you do about that? You just got to locate your pitches. If you know they're going to be aggressive, locate your pitches, mix it up, continue to stay in the bottom half of the strike zone, look for ground balls.
Lucroy showing bunt, getting Cora on the move, and then a fastball buzzed him.
Well, you can bunt your 7-hole guy when you have a guy like Gallardo pitching that can swing the baseball back. You know, you talk about bunting a 7-hole guy, and I got first and second, 1 out. You can walk the 8-hole hitter to get to the pitcher, but when the pitcher's as proficient as Gallardo swinging the bat, you almost got 9 hitters in the lineup today if you're the Brewers.
That ball is hammered to center, not too deep. And if I'm McGee, I'm not going to challenge this arm. And Keel just tosses it to the shortstop, Desmond. Rick was real proud of that throw he had at second base on Friday night to keep the Brewers from having the lead run on base in the 9th inning.
And it's funny how he went back on that baseball. A lot of times as a center fielder, you can peek up to see if the runner's going to go. And Rick Ankiel knows that they know that he has a hammer. You see, just flipping it in right there because he knows that no one's going to run on that arm. The throw he made the other night was one of the better throws I've ever seen. And
he told me in the clubhouse after the game he didn't think it was that bad of a running play by Carlos Gomez, who is very fast. He said, hey, the outfielder has to make a perfect throw in that situation, and I was fortunate enough to do so. His first outfield assist, he can really wing it. And he'll get some other assists when he hits cutoff men and guys make throws to the plate. So here's Gomez, who struck out first time, and he bounces one outside third.
You know, a lot of times your reputation will precede you if you're Rick Ankiel, and you won't have a chance to get assists because nobody's going to run on you.
Exactly.
Every third base coach in the league knows that he has a cannon. All the base runners know he has a cannon. So what's the advantage? Well, guys can't be aggressive on you.
Hey, the guy over at first base, we know all about assists and throwing out guys. 0-1 now to Gomez. That's up the middle. Here comes McGee lumbering around, and Ankiel charges the ball beautifully. So it'll be bases loaded, 1 out for the good hitting pitcher.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Ed Cedar, the Brewers' third base coach, he had to stop the runner right there. You have a plus arm in center field. A lot of times you'll send a guy. Ground ball, clear single up the middle. You see where Rick Ankiel is playing. He's pretty deep, but he charges the ball so aggressively, and you know he has a cannon. 2 arms up, brakes are on, stop at third base.
That's a great weapon to have out in center field. So here's Gallardo, who has 24 career RBIs. Now, with a lot of pitchers, the corner infielders would be playing in for a possible squeeze here. But this guy can hack. LaRoche and Cora are both behind their baselines at first and third, respectively. A couple of career hits with the bases loaded as well. And another one. Milwaukee leads 2-0 as the merry-go-round continues. A singular attack by a power-hitting Milwaukee ball club here.
Yeah, the best thing about it is it's been station-to-station baseball for the Milwaukee Brewers right now. You know, they're only getting 1 run out of this deal, but you look at Gallardo's swing. This is as good as any position player. I mean, how do good RBI guys get it done? They go the other way. They let the ball get deep. Gallardo right there, just a textbook piece of hitting.
And of course, all this is accentuated by the fact the Nationals are not scoring runs. A lot of pressure on these pitchers to keep games very, very close. No margin for error right now. Now the Nats have their bullpen up in the 4th inning of the first game of a doubleheader. And it's Brian Broderick.
And there's usually a breaking point for an offensive ball club. I mean, you'll hear guys come in the dugout and scream and yell and flip coolers over. Let's go. Let's get something going right here. But it's early in the season. This team is going to hit. But, you know, we talked about it in the open, Bob. You're making some great points. That there's a lot of pressure on the Nationals pitchers right now because there's not a lot of offense. So now I'm on the mound and I have to be perfect. If I make a mistake and it's 3-4 nothing, you know, there's not a lot of firepower at this point in the season to come back, especially with a guy like Gallardo on the mound. So now Jason Marquis thinking he has to be perfect. But there's a point when, as an offense, you have to take the bull by the horns and stick your nose in the dirt and figure out a way to get it done.
Now things recycle to the top of the order, and here's Ricky Weeks. 4 hits in this inning. Marquis doing a pretty good job of keeping the ball down. He gets a pop-up, and that is badly needed. LaRoche grabs it for a big second out. And now Counsell coming up.
And just a slider on the outer third of the plate. A big out for Jason Marquis. You talk about the thump in the lineup and the thump that Ricky Weeks has. You know, he could have put this game not out of reach, but with one swing of the bat, he could have done some serious damage right there. That's a huge out.
Right off the very top of the barrel. And here's Counsell. He flied to Worth and then lined a base hit out there the next time. So he's been in pull mode twice. We'll see how Marquis works him. Away. You would think so, and that's to the outer half for a strike. And that's his 4-seam fastball that's got some pretty good run to it. Doesn't sink as much as the other one.
Just not on the same page right now. I see 3 shakes from Jason Marquis. He's thinking something else. And generally speaking, they are on the same page. When you saw, there was an at-bat that stood out to me against the Mets. Jason Marquis threw 4 changeups in a row to Ike Davis. Pudge and Jason had a great tempo going that game. You see right now, you got bases loaded, big part of the baseball game. Jason Marquis thinking one thing, Pudge thinking another. You always want your pitcher to be totally confident and 100% behind the pitch that he's throwing.
2-1. Control usually not an issue with Marquis, who this year has struck out 15 batters while walking 2. But this is a big pitch. He cannot be too cute here against a quality major league hitter, but a superior major league hitter is on deck. In Ryan Braun. 2-1 pitch. That's a good strike. Out to Desmond. Great job by Marquis. Rick Ankiel stopped Milwaukee from running the bases. He's got the only Nats hit. They're chasing the fake Milwaukee sausages. And of course the Mascots had to sweep those guys out of the way, but Teddy has a huge lead here. But what you'll see in the Geico President's Race, watch this. But bammo, years of frustration from Teddy disappearing in one fell swoop.
He decapitated him. Watch the head. Comes all the way off. Teddy doing some serious damage.
Now that's a rough ride. Nice going. Hey, Dad. He's got the little guy at the ballpark today. Harris Teeter, family fun pack day here. Beautiful day at the ballpark to play a couple. Here's Ankiel. Fastball outside. If Rick Ankiel is not in center field, Milwaukee probably has at least a 3-0 and possibly a 4-0 lead. He gets that one in the air to right, but it was down around the end of the bat, and Kotsay puts it away. Mentioned Kotsay earlier. He has 118 outfield assists in his career. 118.
Yeah, he's a fantastic arm, especially back in the day, but I'll take Rick Ankiel any day. When you talk about, the presence of Rick Ankiel in center field, there's a part of you as a broadcaster that's rooting for the other team to send the runner because I want to see him throw. Because you know that he's got such a powerful arm. It's so accurate. You want to see it.
Yeah.
It's like watching a guy throw an infield. You want to see him throw if he's got a cannon.
Here's Worth. Struck out looking first time on a ball that was not a strike. He gets a strike one call there. Nationals had 5 hits and somehow won the game in extras on Friday. 1 hit so far here. And Adam LaRoche also struck out in that first inning. And that one takes the mask right off of Jonathan Lupro.
And we saw this happen to Pudge a couple of times on the road trip. And that's a direct hit.
He's got the old-time catcher's mask, not the hockey mask.
I know there's been a lot of study of concussions in baseball right now, and I don't know what the results are, but to me, I'll take the old school mask. I saw Mike Matheny in San Francisco. He got drilled a couple of times with that new hockey mask thing he was wearing. It's supposed to take the direct pressure of the blow off because it has the angle. But we saw Pudge, was it in New York, where he just got absolutely smoked twice? And that was
as hard as we've ever seen.
As hard as you've ever seen. And, how do you tell? I mean, obviously the replay shows it. Where does the baseball go? Does it ricochet into the stands, or does it just sit right down in front of him? And the one in New York just sat right down in front of Pudge. A direct hit. The ball went nowhere.
3-2, and Worth rifles one to left field. He's aboard with 1 out here in the 4th. LaRoche and Morse, the next 2 hitters. And that broke a string of 9 consecutive batters retired.
Well, now you got the line moving all of a sudden. You see the slider from Gallardo down in the strike zone. Jason Worth, a good low ball hitter. He's got his foot down nice and early. Just love the replay. Love the Ultra Mo, X Mo. Look at that. Out in front, the extension, the head down on the baseball. If I was a hitter, I would take that super duper slow-mo camera that we have right now and sit in the clubhouse all day and watch my swing. I mean, you could tell a lot of things with that. It's a great tool.
I know you weren't here to hear it, but Ryan Zimmerman, best quote I ever heard about the X-Mo. So, man, that thing makes you look good, and it sure can make you look bad.
It's like us on HD TV. HD's great to watch, but it ain't great to be on. You see every little mark on your face.
But on changeups, your bat's gone. The ball's not even there yet. 2 balls and no strikes to LaRoche. As mentioned earlier, 5 career hits with a home run, 3 RBIs against Gallardo. So, yeah, it's just time for the middle of the order to string some hits together, mix in an extra base hit or 2, and just start producing. He's always liked Milwaukee pitching. A lot of guys really like hitting at Miller Park because of the roof. Whether it's open or closed, the conditions are pretty neutral. There's a good batter's eye there. The ball carries well. Not like the old days of County Stadium where the Brewers played. Same home the old Milwaukee Braves had back in the day. That place early in the season and in September could be really brutal from a weather standpoint trying to hit. Two-one. LaRoche lines one to right. Worth heading for second. He's going to make the turn. Kotze with all those assists. All he can do is hit the cutoff man. And now two of the big boys have produced here in the fourth inning.
Keep the line moving, Adam LaRoche. Great job of hitting right here. Let's check out the pitch. Right out over the plate. Giovanni Guerrero to this point has had fantastic command. Not throwing anything out over the middle of the plate. That one was. And as we've seen Adam LaRoche so far this season, he doesn't miss many mistakes. You throw something that gets a lot of white, gets a lot of plate, he's going to hit it hard somewhere.
Michael Morse needs some elevation here. Now they're playing a pretty traditional defense against him now. After in a situation first and second Friday night, he grounded one right through second base territory for a hit. He's going up hacking. If hitting is contagious, we're only hoping somebody's catching that fever down there.
I mean, if this was spring training, you'd be thinking instant offense, 3-run jack. But for Michael Morse right now, he'll take a sacrifice fly.
Good eye outside, 1-1.
And it'll get back to that point, trust me. I mean, the season is high highs and low lows. You get hot. You see in the baseball good. For Michael Morse right now, he's been working hard. He's going to be there. We saw the potential that he had last year and in spring training. It's just a matter of time.
2 for 4 in the series. And that ball into right. Should be deep enough as Kotze fights the sun. Worth tags. Nats are on the board as Kotze throws into second. And Michael Morse has his 4th RBI.
See, sometimes it's as simple as going back to the dugout and getting high fives from your boys. I mean, a lot of times when you're struggling, you go back to the dugout, you put your bat in the rack, you put your helmet in the rack, and there's awkward silence. And then all of a sudden you start to do little things right. You get a big walk, you get a big base hit, sac fly, RBI, and you go back to the dugout and you're high-fiving your boys. Now you relax a little bit. You feel like you're part of the ball club, like you're contributing. For Michael Morse right there, simple sac fly. Now he's feeling good about himself.
Ian Desmond struck out swinging first time. I tell you, he must feel like every pitch to him is right on a corner somewhere.
And he'll go a month where he feels like every pitch to him is right down the middle of the plate. It just goes like that. You feel like you're walking into the box with an 0-2 count.
Just have to get that first hit. He needs to get that first base hit before the Nats leave.
That or get on the plane. He can't wait to get on the plane tomorrow.
Off-speed's breaking ball. He was pulling way off of that pitch.
If we knew a guy had, better success on the road than at home, we used to play jokes and put his gray uniform up in his locker at home. Just to kind of send a message that, dude, you're going to be okay. It's a long season. You're good in this uniform, so we're going to put it up in your locker. We tell the clubhouse, hey, put his visiting uni, put his road uni up in his locker.
Out of play, right side. Well, we know what Ian's capable of. 280 when he got called up September 8th of 09. 12 RBIs in 21 games, and he hit .269 last year. As a full-time rookie with 65 batted in, 27 doubles, 4 triples, 10 home runs. He's big and strong and can drive the ball. Kind of like that, but it's right at the shortstop council. And the Nats will settle for a run on 2 hits and a Michael Morse sac fly. A lot of action in this 2-1 game so far. Family, beautiful day at the ballpark on Mascot HD, and our friends from DC 50 joining us on this Sunday. Top of the 5th inning, Ryan Braun leads off. And by the way, that inning cost Giovanni Gallardo a lot of pitches. He's up to 70. Marquis has thrown 60 through 4 innings. But a tough inning here with Braun, Fielder, and McGee. Ryan Braun 1 for 2. The base hit to left. And that scorcher to first that Adam LaRoche made a dandy play on. Right off the end of the bat, a spinner out to Desmond. Close and out. Braun tried to sell it to the umpire, Mike Estabrook, but Desmond got him in time.
You see a little squibber off the bat right here. Sometimes these are the hardest plays to make. The ball comes at you with tons of English. I don't know what that ball hit in front of the plate. Did you see that hop? I mean, that ball went straight left after it hit, and we'll check out if he's out or safe at first. Definitely out. Good hustle by Ryan Braun. And a lot of times when you try to influence the umpire with your own call, he'll call the opposite.
Here's Fielder. And that ball had some wicked spin on it. And now Fielder, and that's a nice big hop to Adam LaRoche. He'll take that. Marquis is at his best when he's keeping the ball down and getting ground ball outs. You can always expect a great time at Miller Lite Party Nights every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Nationals Park. Tickets start at $20, and the first drink is on us. Happy hour, get here early, $5 brews, entertainment, nationals.com/party night for tickets. And with the bases empty and 2 outs, Casey McGee will be the hitter. Can a ball hit the edge of home plate right where it meets the dirt and then have a little spin on it?
I think that one that Braun had hit right out in front of the plate with so much English, it just took a left-hand turn. Check it out. I've been looking at it in my ISO, trying to figure out what this ball did. Watch. It hits right there, and look, it hangs a left. I mean, it had so much overspin on it, so much hook rotation off the bat that when it hit, it's kind of like when I duck hook a ball in the fairway, it just hits, kicks out of bounds. Same kind of thing.
I wouldn't know. That's inside 101.
Always hit the fairway.
Yes, I will.
Right down there.
That's foul outside third, strike 2.
I don't know that I've ever seen that before. That's why I want to see that replay. I've never seen a ball hit right in front of the plate and be so dramatic on the directional change of the baseball.
Yeah,
I thought it hit the plate. I thought it hit the lip of the grass. I wanted to see the replay before we showed it. It was a great shot from center field. The ball just having tremendous spin on it right in front of the plate. Maybe a ball that was going up the middle that all of a sudden goes to shortstop.
Mets have scored a run in the top of the 5th at Atlanta. They lead Tommy Hanson and the Braves 3-1. And it's still a 2-0 ball game in Philadelphia. Phillies got 2 in the first against the Marlins. Behind Cole Hamels. 1-2 pitch, and Marquis has McGee ducking a high fastball. Casey McGee has base hits in 4 consecutive at-bats in this series, going back to the 8th inning on Friday night. And guess what he did on the first one? He went the opposite way. Ever since then, he's been on the ball really nice. So Marquis trying to move him off the plate, and he misses 3-2.
And as we've seen from Jason Marquis so far this year, this isn't necessarily a fastball count. A lot of times a hitter, you're sitting dead red 3-2. Jason Marquis not afraid to throw a slider here, not afraid to throw a changeup here.
Gets a ground ball. This one's got some spin. Desmond backhand on target with that big arm of his. And Marquis has retired 5 in a row. Bottom of the order coming up. It's 2-1 Brewers. On Masson, brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world. Nationals down by 1, 2-1 after the top of the 5th inning. And it'll be Pudge, Cora, and Marquis for the Nats. Out hit 8-3. By the way, we always like to recognize our troops here at the ballpark. And this is our international troop recognition from our friends at DynCorp. We serve today for a safe tomorrow. It'll be Pudge with a strikeout. Cora has struck out, and then Marquis with a ground ball in the bottom of the 5th inning. Trying to get something going against Giovanni Gallardo. But again, Gallardo right at the 70 pitch mark through 4 innings. And that's made him throw 23 pitches in that 5-batter 4th. And Pudge out to short for Craig Counsell. Time to fire up the smartphone. AT&T trivia.
Here we go.
58 years ago today, which Senators pitcher gave up Mickey Mantle's reported 565-foot home run over at Griffith Stadium? Well, I know Phil Wood would know this. I think Johnny was off that day. Hey. 58 years ago. My gosh. Alex Cora slaps one to center field for a base hit.
It's a big hit by Alex Cora, and I get the pitcher up. Jason Marquis is great at handling bat. Get him over in scoring position, tie and run on second base. Just a short, compact swing from Alex Cora. He's done this for years. Not trying to do too much. And a lot of times you see little guys who try to add a lot to their swing, slow themselves down. Alex Cora does a great job of just spreading out, slapping it back up the middle, going the other way, taking what they give you. Now you got a bunt situation for Jason Marquis.
Good hitting pitcher, good bunting pitcher. He has 34 career sacrifices.
The Brewers right on top of him. McGee and Fielder charging hard right there. And maybe if you're Jim Riggleman and Jason Marquis, you think about pulling the bat back and slapping it by him. They were right on top of him.
Runners going, base hit. Cora turns and stops. Marquis hit the ball so hard. Alex had to stop as it got to Gomez in an instant. So Jim Riggleman switches off, swings the pitcher, 2 on 1 out.
Little hit and run action from Riggs. I love the call right here by the manager. And the one thing you can say about Jim Riggleman this year, he is leaving nothing in the tank. I mean, every single game, it's a squeeze, it's a hit and run, it's a double steal with 2 outs in first and second. He is not afraid to start the runner. He is not afraid to be aggressive offensively as a manager. I love sitting up here and watching the way Jim Riggleman manages a game offensively. It's fun to watch.
Danny Espinosa next, tying runs at second base with 1 out here in the 5th inning.
I mean, you wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's a hit and run somewhere in this sequence.
4 hits now in the last 7 batters for the Nats, after they had 1 hit from the first 11 batters in the game. Rookie RBI leader. 0 for 2 today. Fly ball to center, ground ball to short. And a good take by Danny. Counts 2-0. That's 3-0. Time to be smart. Innings shaping up nicely to at least tie the game. Left-handed hitter Ankiel with power in the on-deck circle. Gallardo walked 9 batters in his first 20 innings this year. And a fastball high in the zone called for a strike.
Espinosa 3-1 last time, 3-1 this time. He's working the count in his favor. Let's see if he can use it. Use it to his advantage.
On the corner. And Gallardo pulls the string on an 83-mile-an-hour changeup.
Yeah, you're sitting dead red right here. You're not looking for that off-speed pitch from Gallardo. And that gets in your head because now you're thinking, well, if he threw it 3-1, is he going to throw it 3-2? You start thinking in the batter's box. With 2 strikes, you have to respect the fastball and adjust if he throws anything else. No real advantage to starting the runners here 3-2. I mean, we'll see what Jim Riggleman does. Danny Espinosa's got good enough speed to where if he hits it on the ground, he can beat out a ground ball double play. But as we've seen with Jim Riggleman, you never know.
field. Did he get it? Yes, he did. 3-run homer. And the Nationals lead 4-2.
Check out the pitch sequence to Danny Espinosa. He worked the count in his favor his second time up. Got to a 3-1 leverage situation. And grounded out to shortstop. Hit the ball pretty well. And you see right here, he just gets the count in his favor again. Good 3-1 take of the curveball. You roll over that pitch, you don't get another chance on 3-2. And for Danny Espinosa, he made Gallardo pay on the 3-2 pitch. Nationals Pitch Track brought to you by Ruth Chris Steakhouse, where sizzling steaks are part of a memorable experience, just like that home run was for Danny Espinosa.
8th of his young career. Nationals, their 9th of the year. Second given up by Gallardo here in 2011. 3 hits together. When's the last time that happened? And here's Rick Ankiel, who's 1 for 2. Nice. He's up to 300 with that hit.
I mean, it's a good day to hit. The wind is blowing out to right field. That's a can of corn last night. That's a can of corn 2 nights ago. The wind has been blowing straight in from right here at Nationals Park. Nice warm day. We said in the broadcast early it's going to be a good day to hit.
He lashes one to left field. Over to cut it off with a good play as Braun. Ankiel makes a big turn and gets back, and he's 2 for 3.
You know, sometimes it takes a minute. You talk about that was the 85th pitch of the game by Gallardo. They're making him work. And the one thing we've seen from the Nationals and the offensive ball club so far this year, they've made every starting pitcher work. They've run pitch counts up. You know, sometimes it's ugly early in the game when you're sitting there taking pitches and, you know, right down the middle. But, you know, the reason you do run pitch counts up so you can take advantage of it later in the game. Maybe you get into the bullpen in the 4th or 5th inning. Maybe, you know, you get the starting pitcher tired, you take advantage, and we're seeing that right now. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in a row with a 3-run tater. The pitch count is at 85. Gallardo's getting tired.
Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, with a visit. And next up will be Jason Worth with another runner aboard. And you never know against a struggling pitcher when Jim Riggleman might get a little frisky here and do something with a good runner, Ankiel. Short lead by Rick. Fielder holds him. Worth takes a fastball in there. Jason 1 for 2 with the base hit to left last time. That led off the, rather, 1 out in the 4th, and then 1 out later scored on the Michael Morse sac fly. That was a home run cut.
And it's all setting up for Jason Marquis in the 6th inning. We've talked about it a lot. The 6th inning being very pivotal when the Nationals have a lead. If, you know, he can get through the 6th with a lead, then Jim Riggleman has his bullpen set up. And it's been Clippard, Storn, and Burnett. You get through that 6th with a lead, it's easy managing for Jim Riggleman.
Working his way toward the bottom of the order, too. At least for now, Braun, Fielder, and McGee out of the way. Now they have Gallardo in his 5th inning of work with only 1 out, nearing the 90 pitch mark. Worth up the middle, double play ball, and that'll go 1 for 3 to kill the inning. But a big inning for the Nats. Pitch by the bottom, a home run by the top. Danny Espinosa goes deep. It's his 8th career homer, his 2nd of the year as he touches one into the bullpen. And now after 5 innings, the Nats have the lead. excited. Nationals on top. Sunday baseball on Masson, presented to you by Hyundai. Hyundai on Sunday. And Espinoza puts the Nats on top. Here's Kotze, top of the sixth for the Brewers. I would call this a take charge inning for Jason Marquis. Not that he already hasn't. And of course, the Nats extend their streak, 14 games now, with starters going at least 5. And Kotze and a check swing, quickly 0-2.
Shutdown inning.
Yep.
Get your team back in the dugout as quickly as possible.
And he bounces the 0-2 pitch. Marlins have tied that game in Philadelphia with 2 in the 6th. Mets still leading. 6th inning at Atlanta, 3-1 New York, trying to break a 7-game losing streak. Marquis has him reaching. Desmond's been busy at short today. That's a rocket over to first for the out. And Milwaukee now has had 6 consecutive hitters go down against Jason Marquis. Lucroy coming in. The RBI from Casey McGee back in the 1st inning. And then from the pitcher, Giovanni Gallardo, a bases loaded single to right field in the 4th. And not to be forgotten there, how Marquis gave up 4 hits, only 1 run. And Rick Ankiel with his good charges in from center. Not even having to flash the arm, but having the Brewers aware of that helped him shut down that inning and minimize the damage. That ball is rifled up the middle by Lucroy. That'll be his 4th hit of the year. Shares the catching duties with Will Nieves, and then they have George Kataris. I'm going to take a stab at this one. Old Griffith Stadium, and say it was Chuck Stobbs from Wheeling, West Virginia. Let's see if we got it right. I'll be darned. How about that?
They should call that segment Ask Google.
He won 107 games, Chuck Stobbs. Red Sox, White Sox, Senators, Cardinals, Twins. Bounce to third. That is foul to Cora. Yeah, Chuck Stobbs, a native of Wheeling, West Virginia. Mickey Mantle obviously was batting right-handed that day because Stobbs was a lefty. And that ball cleared the entire stadium and was estimated at 565 feet. And evidently there's a football scoreboard in left field that cleared that too. We understand Johnny Holiday was DJing that day and was busy. That's inside to Carlos Gomez.
He was DJing at a club?
Johnny was a big time DJ. I mean, he's
really
Mr. Rock and Roll around here.
I think I saw him last night. It's going to be fun to watch how Jim Riggleman uses his bullpen in game 1. When you talk about a doubleheader, how do you do it? There's 2 philosophies. I mean, this is the one game that matters. Do you save guys for the second game? Do you use guys in both games?
Bounce to Cora. Throw to Espinoza. Relay to LaRoche. A 5-4-3 double play. Nats have the momentum after 5.5 here. First game of a doubleheader. Good defense with great pitching. 4-2 Nats.
Great turn.
good rhythm to this double play a moment ago, FP.
A great turn by Danny Espinosa. Check out the feed from Alex Cora. It's low. I mean, the hardest ball to turn as a second baseman, when you have a guy bearing down on you and you can't see him coming, is the low feed. So Danny Espinosa staying with that nice, standing up, and you see the firm throw to first base. And AC pointing to him right there, saying, nice turn. I mean, Alex Cora did a nice job of getting rid of it quick so that Danny Espinosa had some time to turn it. But ask any second baseman, when that feed is low and there's some cleats coming in right where you're catching it, that is a hard turn.
Bottom of the sixth, LaRoche, Morse, and Desmond. That was pitch number 90 by Giovanni Gallardo, who has thrown 101, 111, and 106 in his 3 starts this year. 6 innings at Cincinnati, the complete game at home against Atlanta, and then 5 innings against the Cubs, no decision last time out. And LaRoche will hit it right side for Prince Fielder. Prince will do it himself for the first out. Nats box. Good to see some hitting at the top of the order. Look at that, 5 hits among the first 4 batters. And Cora and Marquis setting the table like leadoff guys with those 2 hits coming with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Big blow, 3-run homer. Danny Espinosa's second of the year.
That sac fly was big to get him on the board, too, by Michael Morse.
By the way, Espinosa ties Worth for the team lead in home runs with 2. Michael with his 4th RBI of the year today. That sac fly back in the 4th. We've seen him start to take the ball the opposite way with good results here, going back to New York last week. Ian Desmond desperately needs a hit. He's next. Nationals wrapping up the 6-game homestand. Trying to get their home record back even. At least for today, game 1, then you take your chances in the nightcap.
Well, winning game 1 is everything.
You can do whatever you want with the lineup in the second game. Although, you know, you want to put a solid lineup out there to back Levon, but man, this works out. You're feeling great about the rest of the day. Long way to go here in the 6th inning. And Morse will take one, 2-2.
Yeah, you got to finish this game strong. And if you can hang on near the Nationals and win the first game of a doubleheader, like I said earlier, you win the first game of the series, then you win the first game of a doubleheader. You've already won the series. You know, and that's what good teams do at home. They win series. You want to split on the road and win series at home.
And Michael Morse is getting some good cuts and seeing more and more of what Gallardo has to feature here. 2 today here, 3 in St. Louis, 3 at Pittsburgh. Then the Mets and the Giants come in. That's a 4-game series with the world champions, by the way. And a 2-2 to Morse. Mike having a great at bat, rams one out to left center. Over to cut it off Gomez, and Morse has a base hit. What a good at bat as he fouled off some tough pitches and then got something to work with to the gap.
Like I said, you go back to the dugout and you high-five your boys. You start to feel like you're part of it all of a sudden. Michael Morse with a great at-bat right here, staying on this pitch. You look at the extension, just got it off the end of the, off the end of the bat. You saw the throw from Gomez. He said, Rick Ankiel, I got something out here too. That was a great throw into second base.
Hitting room through the right side for Desmond. That's a strike to Ian. His 30th at bat at Nationals Park. Still hunting that first base hit.
Partner, I tried to inhale that cupcake that Screech brought me between innings.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. I just learned a valuable lesson. Do not try to inhale a cupcake in the commercial break because it could get stuck in your throat.
Yeah, and that's after, what, a pot of coffee?
Well, that's every night.
Joe, get the rope. You have to tie him down here shortly.
I've been hitting the cough button with this cupcake. I'm ready. I'm good to go. Let's go. Bring it on.
Well, nothing will get us more excited than watching Ian Desmond rounding first base. Over but low. 1-2. Nationals have Gallardo over 100 pitches now. That fourth inning was a long one for him. Desmond out to left center. That ball is in the gap. Yes, sir, he's got a hit. The Nats get a bad break as the ball bounces over the bullpen. Had it hit the wall, Morse might have been able to score. And now Ian Desmond can take a deep breath and stand at second base with his first hit at Nationals Park. And you know he's getting a hard time from the dugout.
You see the relief right there from Ian Desmond at second base. I can't get a hit in my white uniform. Great at bat by him, just staying on the baseball, driving in the gap to left center. And that is definitely a bad break for the Nationals. Michael Morse would have scored easily on this ball if it stays in the park.
You know what, though? I'd still rather have a 7 or 8 foot fence out there than that monstrosity like New York has. All right, Ian. Infield is in now for Pudge. And Rodriguez is a crafty veteran in situations like this. Try to let that ball get deep and drive it up the middle or the other way. Looking for something at least he can elevate. Pudge 0 for 2, but he has 4 RBIs on the year. And the Nationals have a chance to have at least a 3-run lead now going into the late innings. Way inside. Lucroy faked a throw to third. Morse dove in. There was no fielder within 15 feet.
And it was last Sunday in New York with Jason Marquis pitching. The Pudge had that big game, that breakout game with the double and the single. He got the big hit to right field.
Marquis at 79 pitches. Clippard warms up. 2-0 to Pudge. Good count. He's hacking. That ball has hit a ton to right field. It appears to be gone. Home run, Pudge Rodriguez. Opposite field. The 310th of his career. And the Nationals have blasted their way to a 7-2 lead.
Pudge is fired up, and he should be. Hey, look at the ball getting deep right there. We said the ball is carrying to right today. The wind is blowing out to right, but he got all of that one. He was thinking the same thing we were thinking. We were thinking about that at-bat in New York last Sunday. We let the ball get deep and hit that double in the gap. Same swing right there from Pudge. He's fired up. The dugout's fired up. And Giovanni Gallardo is done for the day.
Nationals take one of the better young pitchers in baseball and blast away at him for 7 runs in 6 1/3 innings into the Milwaukee bullpen now. bullpen. And here's Alex Cora against left-hander Mitch Stetter, who pitched in the ball game on Friday night, and a third of an inning scoreless. And a foul out of play by Cora, who's 1 for 2. It was Alex's base hit last inning with 1 out in the 5th that really got the offense awakened. The Nats had a total of 3 hits all day until he got that hit. Marquis singled, Espinosa homered, and then in this inning, Morse, Desmond hits, and Pudge the homer. I cannot believe how far Pudge Rodriguez hit that ball to the opposite field over that 15-foot scoreboard in right center. Number 310 of his career, first of the year.
Absolutely hammered. I mean, it's the same swing he took in New York last week. The big double that he hit to right center field. Same exact swing. He's looking for something out over the plate that he can go the other way with. RBI situation. We've seen Pudge over the years. Lets the ball get deep. Uses the big part of the ballpark. He just got the bonus 3-run jack. Doing the right thing.
Opposite field homers for right-handers are not easy here. Cora out of play. Hanging tough. 1-2. In fact, I think we've had a bit of a shift in the breeze now. It appears to be blowing out to center as we look. Now, that building is 2 blocks north of us. But that's the true gauge, as FP was told by Rick Eckstein, of where the wind's going.
Yeah, we just look at that building and it'll tell you where the wind is blowing. A lot of times within a stadium, the wind will swirl, so the flags within the stadium won't tell you the true story. Sometimes they'll lie to you. You'll think the wind is blowing in as an outfielder. You come in and it's blowing out. So what the Nationals do, they look at that building a couple blocks down. Those flags on top of it tell them which way the wind is really blowing.
Well, case in point, out in left center, the Stars and Stripes are pointing almost the exact opposite way. The American flag inside the ballpark.
That's a great shot right there. That's what I'm talking about. See, the flag inside the ballpark is telling you the wind's blowing in because it's swirling because of the stadium. But the flags in the background right there, they're telling you the real story.
Cora reaches out and bumps one out to the shortstop, Counsell. And that's the second out here. And if you want to be able to see that building when you're here at the ballpark, check out the Capital City View seats. They start at just $10. Go to nationals.com/tickets. Great seats, great views of the capital city from all around Nationals Park. Come out for a great price, enjoy a ball game, and you get to do it with a great view as well. Here's Marquis, who's 1 for 2. Marquis will hack one out to center for Carlos Gomez. Great inning for the Nats. They got Gallardo out of the game. Pudge goes deep, first time this year. Number 310 of his career, and the Nationals lead the Brew Crew 7-2. Opposite way, giving the Nationals a 5-2 lead. When's the last time we said that? Today's game flow here at the ballpark on a beautiful day, brought to you by Corona. They invite you to find your beach. Niger Morgan will pinch hit for the Brewers here for the pitcher. Leading off the top of the seventh, there are some cheers and there are some boos. And there's a new left fielder, Lance Nix, who will replace Michael Morse in the lineup. Niger hit .253 for the Nats last year with a .319 on base percentage in 136 games. Stole 34 bases, caught 17 times, struck out 88 times. Suspended a total of 8 games for 3 different incidents during some melees on the field. And we wish him well in Milwaukee. Tried to pull that outside pitch. Espinosa knows he has to hurry. 1 out. Niger had some good moments with the Nats. One of the best catches in the history of this club at Camden Yards last year. Literally climbing the wall. And J.D. Martin liked it. Even Corey Patterson doffed his cap.
I'll tell you what, I could play for 100 years and never doff my cap to anybody that robs me of a home run. I run out there and punch him first before I tip my cap.
That was a great play. You know, the first 50 games or so were spectacular until he broke his hand sliding headfirst into third base at Wrigley Field. Chad Godin, the right-hander, Doug Slayton, the lefty. Top of the order, Ricky Weeks. I don't know if I'm Jason Marquis. Hopefully he's not even looking at the bullpen. I might be thinking, you know what? I've thrown 83 pitches. I've got a 5-run lead.
Well, you know McCaddy's thinking it. You know Riggleman's thinking it. They play 2 baseball games today. If he can extend this out into the 7th or the 8th, into the 8th or the 9th, you got, you know, your bullpen fully loaded for the second game.
Marquis has pitched 200 innings 3 times in his career, twice with St. Louis, and then in 09 with Colorado. In 2 of those years, he won 15 games. Went to the All-Star game. Great breaking ball to get it away from Ricky Weeks.
But you also know that the Brewers are a quick strike offense.
True.
So, you know, while the 5-run lead is nice, you know, Jason Marquis, keep throwing pitches like that, you'll be around for a while.
Marquis deals and Weeks to the left side for Cora. High throw, and LaRoche goes and gets it. 2 outs. Today's copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Bases empty, 2 outs, and here's Kinsler.
Do you have to read that in the second game, too?
Pardon me, counsel. I just asked the truck. I just told him I'm only reading it once. So it is one telecast. This is a continuous telecast because Johnny and Ray will pick up the ball between games. We will scarf down a sandwich and a cupcake and be back for game 2. At least I'm having a cupcake.
I'm done with the cupcakes. I can't take a chance of locking up anymore.
That's okay. We just want you folks to know we got the straitjacket in place during the break, and he's fine over there. You are what they used to call in this game a pepper pot. That kind of ball player. 2-1, and that's a compliment, by the way.
Play hard, broadcast hard.
Yeah, somebody told you that, didn't they? You broadcast as hard as you play. Didn't Ray Knight tell you that?
Ray said that in the pregame show. I didn't know if that was a compliment or not.
Ray played hard.
He did.
Counsell jacks one to right, hooking foul.
Well, we used to joke around when I was a minor league coach and coach hard today before he went out there. And I still joke around with Dan Radisson all the time. Hey, coach hard today.
Yep. We're going to a place Tuesday where the manager says play a hard 9 every day. Tony La Russa.
I mean, that's all you can control. We talked about all the numbers before the game and the Nationals struggle offensively. They won a game with hustle the other night, and that's all you can control. 3.5 hours a day, go out there and play as hard as you can, leave it all out there, and then do it again tomorrow. Today they have to do it twice, obviously. But why wouldn't you? I mean, you work for 3.5 hours, go out there and give it everything you got.
And a ball driven right to Lance Nix. Jason Marquis gets the Nationals to the 7th inning stretch with a 5-run lead. Doubleheaders off to a good start. Iwo Jima across the river. You got to see it if you come to D.C. Rodriguez doing some serious driving in the ballpark today, each with 3-run homers. Espinosa left-handed and Pudge going to right center, backing the outstanding 7 innings of pitching by Jason Marquis.
It's been about the big blows today for the Nationals. You look at Danny Espinosa on the 3-2 pitch from Gallardo, just dropping the head on the baseball. Ball is carrying today. It's a beautiful day here in Washington, D.C., and Danny Espinosa rockets that one out to right. And we've seen this swing for Pudge Rodriguez a couple times over the years, just letting the ball get deep, swing easy when it's breezy, get it up in the air, and he is absolutely pumped, and so are the fans here at Nationals Park.
Nice. Get on him, Pudge. 92 pitches, 64 strikes for Marquis through 7. As Espinosa steps up to face 26-year-old right-hander Brandon Kintzler. Originally selected in the draft in 03 by the Yankees, didn't sign. Did sign with San Diego the following year, released in 06. And the Brewers actually picked him up last 2 years ago, really, from the St. Paul Saints of the Independent American Association. 7 games for the Brewers last year. He is from Las Vegas. Great crowd. Totally entertained by this one today. Took a while to get the offense going till the 4th inning, but then the Nats have scored in 3 consecutive innings.
It's a great vibe here at the ballpark today. Beautiful day for baseball. The ball is carrying. The Nats are swinging the bat. I don't think it's a secret anymore. This is a good baseball team. They're talking to some people, some friends of mine on the West Coast. They know how the Nationals are playing. And if people are talking about it around baseball people, the Nats are playing the game the right way. They're winning baseball games. They're scrappy. They're gutsy. They take the extra base. They're aggressive on the bases. They're pitching well. I mean, people are starting to find out that this is a good baseball team. Like I said before the game, 1 game under 500, and they haven't swung the bats yet. The bats heat up and you keep doing all the other things, you're going to win a lot of baseball games.
Top of the order, Espinosa and Keelan-Worth, bottom 7. As Milwaukee's Kintzler makes his 2nd appearance of the year. He's only gotten 4 outs. He's given up 4 hits and a run. Espinosa goes up hacking and flies it to center. And Gomez using his glove as a shade, 1 out. Game 2, 30 minutes after the last pitch of this game. Nats section with Johnny and Ray in between. Levon Hernandez, 1-1 with a 3.50, goes against Marco Estrada, the former Nat, who's made 1 start and 1 relief appearance. He's 1-0 with a 5.14 ERA.
If the Nats can hang on and win this game, it doesn't get any easier for the Brewers. You talk about a team that loves the fastball. They love to be challenged and go up there and let it fly, swing hard in case you hit it. I can't imagine they're looking forward to facing Levon Hernandez.
This is a man who likes to swing the bat free and easy. Rick Ankiel's had a good day, 2 for 3. Gets his batting average back up over 200 at 208. And he pulls one. Nationals double-digit hits today. I don't remember them this year scoring in 3 consecutive innings. A couple of 2s here and there. And Ankiel is getting some hacks. He didn't do it on the first homestand. They did do it in Florida on Thursday the 7th. Single runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th in a 5-3 win. 2 of those runs were unearned. So this is by far the best they've blasted their way to scoring in 3 straight innings. And Ankiel takes one way inside. Side door breaking ball, stays outside, ball 3.
And maybe when you think about the turning point of this game, it wasn't what the Nationals did on offense, what they did on defense. And it was Rick Ankiel in the presence in center field, charging the baseball. McGee had to be held at third base. Marquis got out of the jam.
Ankiel gets a piece of that one. Nats have done a good job today of staying alive on 2 strike counts. It's one of the reasons Giovanni Gallardo, in less than 6 innings, threw 107 pitches. They finally got to him in the 5th and the 6th, but before that, even while making some outs, they required him to throw lots of pitches. Ankiel on what would have been ball 4 strikes out, 2 down.
And take the Washington Nationals with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see the Nationals game live or on demand or on your computer. I have this. I watch games around the league every night. It's great stuff. Visit Nationals.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere you go.
Grady Sizemore is back. A former member of the Montreal organization. Wow, first time in almost a year. Good to see him back. Mets, of course, their longest losing streak in 7 years. And this hit the wire the other day. I noticed that there could be more replay next year for balls down the line and balls trapped or caught by outfielders at the shoot tops. Some of those plays have been key in some playoff scenarios the last couple of years. Your thoughts, buddy? Do we need more replays or no?
I'm against replay in baseball. Everybody says, hey, graduate to the new millennium and, you know, stay up with football and basketball and every other sport that has replay. I think that's what makes baseball so beautiful. It gives us something to talk about. It gives fans something to talk about. Maybe in the postseason when the stakes are so high, you have special replay rules. But for the year, I'm against it. I like it just the way it is.
I agree.
And you talk about the pace of the game and tempo of the game. I mean, how much have we talked about that this year? You know, it's stressed in spring training. Get the ball and throw it. Throw a strike, strike one. Now all of a sudden you add replay to it, and you're taking 5 minutes for the umps to run into the clubhouse and look at the replay. And it just slows the game down. I like it just the way it is. I like the human element.
Well, you know, they could give the home plate umpire or the crew chief his own little video device, and he wouldn't have to leave the field to see the replay. You know, just give him a little hood out there at second base and have him take a look. You know, I mean, I bet you they've thought of that.
Well, they should
on-field devices.
They should call up here and ask me. I'll tell them.
Here's Worth with a two-hopper over to McGee, and the Nats go quickly in the 7th inning. Jason Marquis thrown 92 pitches. We'll see if he has an 8th inning in him.
Get exclusive Nats coverage to your mobile phone. Text Nationals to 29292. Message and data rates may apply.
All right, check out the top of the 8th inning, Jason Marquis. He may not go 9 today, but he's done it 6 times in his career with 3 shutouts. How nice would it be to not have to use Clippard, Storen, or Burnett in the first game as Slayton and Godin continue to warm up. And by the way, we haven't mentioned today, Colin Ballister is a member of the bullpen again. He's back. He had pitched in 3 games for Syracuse as a 6th, 7th, and 8th inning guy. Got the call right before their game at home Friday night. Got here yesterday. Good to see Bally back. And here's Ryan Braun, who's 1 for 3. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times. He never gets cheated. And Marquis keeping the ball down, 1-1. The Prince to follow, and then McGee, the big boppers for the Brewers here in the 8th. 3, 4, and 5. And they're down by 5. Some serious last-minute dive on that one. I mean, Braun thought he was on that pitch.
Braun was trying to hit a 5-run home run right there. Like he said, he never gets cheated. Good movement on the pitch, but it's fun to watch these guys swing hard.
One-two delivery. Good breaking ball. Gets a little chopper. Nats hope it stays foul. It does. For those of you who keep track of things, last time the Nationals hit 2 3-run homers in a game, as Pudge and Espinosa did today, was August 30th of last year at Florida when Adam Dunn and Ryan Zimmerman did it.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Nats won that game.
To the scorebook we go.
If you hit 2 3-run homers in a game, you better win.
Washington 9, Florida 3. Zimmerman's was in the 3rd against Alex Sanabia. and then done in the 7th against former net Brian Sanchez. By the way, the winning pitcher, Jason Marquis. That was his first win of the year on August 30th. How about that? 2-2. Right now, a full half run a game lower. Nats started the day at 3.58, 8th best in the National League. 2-2 pitch, good battle here, and Braun takes one low. Top of the 8th, leadoff man. Nationals lead 7-2. And Braun works hard for the walk. Smart hitter, wasn't going to get himself out there. And that's Jason Marquis' first walk of the game, and only his 3rd this year in 19 innings.
On pitch number 100.
Jim Riggleman's coming to get him. The ground swell has started, and you'll hear a great ovation when he leaves the field. This is the Jason Marquis that the Nationals signed to a 2-year free agent contract prior to the 2010 season. He goes into the 8th, has the Nats 5 runs ahead on 100 pitches.
Estrada versus Livan Hernandez. Nats Escher will keep you entertained in between games. Johnny and Ray will be out there breaking it all down for you, and then we'll be right back 30 minutes after this one.
And I want you folks to know it is a little wacky up here between games. We're scrambling to grab a little bite to eat. The lineups usually come to us about 10 minutes after the first game's over. So here in the booth and out in the truck, everybody on the Masson crew will be scrambling for you to have all our information ready for you for game 2. It is quite a fire drill. We don't do it much anymore. I kind of miss it. Did it a lot early in my career back in the 80s. But the double headers have kind of gone away. Not today.
I got to go get hair and makeup. I got tons of stuff to do between games.
Yeah, well, we'll enjoy your return around the 3rd inning of game 2. Over to 3rd. Who's going to cover? That's Desmond. That is a 5-6-3 double play. And how good is Adam LaRoche picking the ball at first base? He is unreal over there.
5-6-3 double play. You don't see this every day, folks. I mean, you look at Alex Cora playing shortstop. He feeds to Ian Desmond, who probably hasn't turned a double play this way in a long time. That's not that easy, but the Nats made it look easy. Check out Desmond. He's used to fielding it a little differently at shortstop. And Admiral Roach, just as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Look at that.
He makes it look easy.
Bases empty, 2 outs. Hey, we all loved Adam Dunn. He thrilled us with the homers, the RBIs. But there has been an amazing upgrade of defense on that side of the infield. And for that matter, Espinoza, too. I mean, Christian Guzman at times struggled over there. Adam Kennedy last couple of years. No comparison in that department. Casey McGee's 2 for 3 today with an RBI single.
Yeah, and don't forget, Adam LaRoche is playing all banged up, too. I mean, he's chiefing it out right now for the good of the ball club. There's nothing worse than starting the season. You're in April. It's the early part of the year. You're only 2 weeks into it, and you're all banged up. Adam LaRoche is banged up, but he wants to play every single day.
That ball to right. Worth not able to get there. It falls in front. How about Casey McGee now? 5 hits in the series. He's 3 for 4 today.
I'm sure if you ask the Nats, and they'll tell you that if Casey McGee's going to get 3 hits, they hope they're all singles.
Yeah, keeping the ball in the park against this powerful team that came in with 14 home runs, 5th most in the National League. Next up is Mascot. He's 1 for 3 with a single to right. Facing a left-hander, Slayton. Slayton's 9th appearance. Right now, that's high on the club, 1 more than Storn and Clippard. Great breaking ball. Doug takes the field to some serious electric jazz guitar. He's learning how to play the guitar right now. His dad was a guitar player, and he's been seen toting that on a couple of road trips. And we are planning an impromptu jam session sometime soon, not to be heard by anybody else, though. Way outside to 1-2.
So you call Jimi Hendrix left-handed with the guitar, too?
No, I'm a righty, but Doug's a lefty.
Doug.
Yeah, he's a lefty. It can be hard to find left-handed guitars. A lot of guys just buy the right-handed ones and then reverse the strings. As we all know, lefty's just a little bit different. 1-2 with 2 outs here in the 8th. Challenges him, and up the middle it goes. So the Brewers have had a walk and 2 hits in this inning, and the double play looms large. You just want to get this game over ASAP without having to go deep into your bullpen and have everybody fresh for the nightcap. It'll be Jonathan Lucroy next, the right-handed hitting catcher, and Jim Riggleman will go ahead and make the move. He had Godin out there and ready.
Doug Slayton's not happy right now, but he got a big out. He got a big double play in Prince Fielder. I mean, that's no small deal. He got a big out with Ryan Howard the other night. He got a big out with Prince Fielder tonight. He's got nothing to be ashamed of. He pitched good today.
One of the 2 double plays the Nats have turned, and Chad Godin brings his high-octane fastball in. Just quell this Milwaukee offense for 4 more outs and then move on to the nightcap. And a reminder, the Potomac Nationals in the midst of defending their Carolina League Championship at Fitzner Stadium in Woodbridge. It's a short drive. Discover the next hot prospect heading for D.C. Stars of the future in your backyard with our friends, the Potomac Nationals. PotomacNationals.com. Here's Godin, who's been pretty solid his last few outings. Breaking ball for a strike by Chad, whose ERA is on its way down, above the 5.5 mark now. 8 strikeouts, 5 walks in 6 innings. But the recent trend is much better than the first few times when he had control issues. That's another front door breaking ball. 0-2.
He's got that pitch going. He just relaxed a little bit. You saw him the first couple of times out. He seemed real excited, real jumpy, flying open, up in the strike zone with everything. Now all of a sudden, he feels like he's part of the ball club. He's getting used to being part of the team, relaxing. It's just another baseball game. He's slowed things down. He's staying closed. He's staying down in the strike zone.
That's a quick job against a right-handed batter. And this ball game's into the bottom of the 8th inning. Nationals in control of the first of 2, 7-2.
Drive of the game. Let's check out Danny Espinosa's 3-run jack in the 5th inning that got everything going. He worked the count to 3-1. He took an off-speed pitch 3-1 to get to 3-2. And you look at a nice slow leg kick, getting the bat out in front, dropping the barrel on the baseball for the big 3-run jack. That's your 4th drive of the game.
Big blow of this ball game. Then 1 inning later, Pudge would do the same. And that dugout has been alive today. Good to see some offense. The shift is on, bottom of the 8th for Adam LaRoche, hitting against Brandon Kinsler. And for the Brewers, it's Kinsler's job to soak up these last 6 outs so that Ron Renicky doesn't have to use a whole lot of his bullpen. Levon and former net Marco Estrada in game 2. Off-speed pitch, a beauty, had LaRoche out ahead. Adam 1 for 3 today. Lance Nix to follow, and then Ian Desmond. Fastball is close, but misses 1 and 2. They are in the top of the 9th. Phillies scored a run in the bottom of the 8th and lead the Marlins 3-2. So the Phillies are trying to put a finish to that one. And in Atlanta, the Mets 3-1 lead is now 3-2 as Jason Hayward has just hit his 4th homer of the year for the Braves, bottom 8. The Mets are trying to break that 7-game losing streak. that the Nationals started for them last weekend. And LaRose strokes one out to the gap in left center. Ryan Braun races over to grab it off the bat of the left-hander. It's going to come back to the left fielder a bit. And we'll see Lance Nix now for the first time today.
They talked about it earlier in the game. Sometimes when you have 2 games in one day, the thought of getting 10 at-bats overwhelms you. You don't want to take the collar. You don't want to have an 0 for an 8 or an 0 for 10 to show for a doubleheader. When you look at the Nats hitters today, Espinosa's got a knock, and Keel's got a knock. Every hitter in the starting lineup has a base hit today, so nobody has to worry about that. I'm telling you, man, when you have to get 10 at-bats in one day, you just don't want to be that guy that goes 0 for 8, 0 for 9, 0 for 10.
Yeah, it could take a month to recover from that.
And so what's the benefit of that? You go into the second game free and easy. You don't have the pressure of, I went 0 for 4 in the first game. Now I got to get a hit my first. I have to have something to show for the day.
Lance Nix has established himself as the primary left-handed bat off the bench right now. Occasional starter. Had the big homer in New York a week ago. Steps in, hitting a respectable 263 early. 5 hits, a homer, 4 RBIs. Big, strong guy who's hit 49 career home runs. Fastball buried, low and inside, 1-2.
He'll probably be getting a start in the second game, I would imagine.
Estrada, right-hander. Good pitch down and away, turned one over. 2 strikeouts for Kinsler. And he's retired, 5 in a row. Here's our convergence pitch track.
Nice little off-speed pitch, down and away. Nick's looking for something in, couldn't handle it.
Convergence Technology and Citrix are experts with desktop virtualization, helping companies achieve efficiency and cost reduction. Call the experts 301-860-1960 or visit convergencetech.us. Ian Desmond 1 for 3 with a double, a run scored. Finally shattered that offer here at home, which was very nice. On a ball extremely well hit to left center that bounced into the bullpen. There it is.
And the reaction from Ian Desmond was priceless at second base.
Yeah, you know he was hearing it from the dugout. He had about 8 guys waving at him.
They were probably screaming, "Keep the ball! Throw the ball out!" You do that to each other when you got your first hit of the season. If it took you a while,
it would have been our bullpen. They would have saved it for him. I'm sure the Milwaukee bullpen gave it away to a fan out there. Now he jacks one to straight away to left field, and that looks like a home run. It is. Ian Desmond. Suddenly 6 total bases on the day, and the Nats lead 8-2. That was a rocket.
So you finally get your first hit at home, you relax a little bit. This is an absolute tracer out to left field, a hanging slider up in the strike zone, and Ian Desmond gets the head out. What a swing right there. Great shot of the extension. Look at him stay through that baseball, backspin that thing, and that got out of here in about 2 seconds. Wow. One of the better hit balls I've seen all year.
Nationals with 3 home runs today after hitting 8 in their first 13 games. Pudge goes up hacking. And a ground ball to the second baseman takes us into the 9th inning. Desmond, a double and a homer. Good for him. He has struggled. That had to feel good. So does an 8-2 lead with 3 outs to go. homer, scores 2 runs, and the Nationals have an 8-2 lead going into the 9th inning with Chad Gaudin still on the mound. Gaudin came on in impressive fashion to strike out Lucroy. In the 9th for the Brewers, Carlos Gomez, the center fielder. Looks like then they'll hit George Kataris, the catcher, in the pitcher's spot. And then the top of the order for Ricky Weeks. There's Kataris, a former Boston Red Sox catcher. And Chad Gaudin trying to close things out here. And get the Nats back to 500 at 7-7. Milwaukee would drop to 7-7, having lost the first 2 games of this series, if the Nats can hold things together here. Gomez 1 for 3 with a base hit up the middle. Guess what the Nats only did twice today? Strand runners. 2 stranded, 8 scored. Gaudin misses outside. You don't want to walk the leadoff guy here. You can just challenge people in this ballpark. And you're up 6. Then he gets an inside corner call. Misses. And that'll bring in Kataris.
That's the last thing you want to do with a 6-run lead is walk the leadoff guy, walk anybody. You want to throw some challenge fastballs, make him put the ball in play. Obviously, Chad Gaudin didn't want to walk him. Now you got to regroup, get your mechanics straight. Something down the strike zone, you're looking for a ground ball.
27-year-old left-handed hitting catcher. '67 games for the Brewers last year with 9 home runs. 237 a year before that for the Red Sox. Originally drafted back in '03 by San Diego. He drives that ball to left center. Over to third base goes Gomez. Now you're looking at Weeks, Counsell, and Braun, barring a double play. They would have to get a couple of more base runners for this to become a possible save situation. Jim Riggleman might have seen enough.
Well, you saw the shot of Steve McCaddy on the phone right there. That was the Tyler Clippard hotline that he was on. And this is just a little stall piece maybe to get Clippard a few pitches. He was up last inning getting loose.
Yep. Jim Lett raced over to the phone. And I think Clippard knew it was his turn, because by the time Lett answered the phone call, Clippard was already playing catch.
I'd have that guy on speed dial. He's been so good this year for the Nationals. I mean, in an ideal world, you'd like Chad Gaudin to finish this ball game. But first things first, you have to win this game and then worry about game 2 then.
How many bad things start with a leadoff walk? Ricky Weeks 1 for 4 today. Base hit in the first. And Gaudin falls behind him. Now Sean Burnett joins. In case Gaudin loses Weeks. And Clippard comes in and with that tying run makes it to the on-deck circle, and Chad's all over the place right now. He's got to be out there thinking this is a 1-run game, not 6. Hit fastball. Front door breaker, that's foul, just outside third where Cora is guarding the line. And that evens things up at 2-2. Shadows are starting to creep. And they may be a factor in the early part of game 2. The batter's eye will be sunbathed for quite a while here. If this game gets over as it should, game 2 will start sometime around 5 o'clock. A very tough time to hit.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the second game a lot, I'm sure, but whenever those shadows start creeping in as a hitter and the ball goes from, light to dark or dark to light, and your eyes have to adjust. We talked about it a little bit on the road. It's almost like coming out of a movie theater, and it's just hard to see the baseball. It's hard to pick up the rotation, see the seams, decipher fastball from off speed, so it'd definitely be a factor in game 2.
2 on, nobody out, and a 2-2 pitch. Godin pumping strikes now. Ricky Weeks is a guy who jams the plate. He led the National League hit by 25 pitches last year. 1 this year so far. He's right in the middle of the right-handed batter's box, but he does not shy away from diving. Breaking ball gets him, and a good hook by Godin for the first out.
I've seen that a couple times from Ricky Weeks today. We saw Jason Marquis strike him out in the 3rd inning with a slider away, and that's a good pitch from Chad Godin. On top of that pitch, got it out in front. And maybe the Nationals have found a little something on how to approach Ricky Weeks in game 2.
Here's Counsell, who's 1 for 4. Contact guy. Fastball up and away.
Yeah, it's one thing at the highest level when you find out a guy on that given day or that given series is having trouble with a pitch, you go there, you wear it out. I mean, you have to set it up with other pitches to get to that slider away, but if you see somebody with a weakness in their swing, it's cruel. That's all you'll see as a hitter. I'm sure Livan Hernandez is doing his homework, sitting in the clubhouse right now watching this game on TV, studying hitters. I mean, you could sit in the dugout and watch, but there's nothing like being in the clubhouse and seeing the center field shot, seeing what guys are swinging at, who you're going to face. Both starting pitchers for game 2 mentally preparing, probably watching this game on TV.
Runner going, oh my, 3-0. This guy has very little power. There is no reason to work him away. Runner down to second base is Kataris. If you walk him with Braun and Fielder coming up, that door is ajar here in the 9th inning. Wow. Bases loaded. That should be it. Riggleman couldn't get out of the dugout fast enough. And Chad Godin, who finished the 8th inning with a flourish, striking out Lucroy, fell behind every hitter, even Weeks, who he struck out here in the 9th inning. It's Clippard coming. Things not too tense yet. quiet. They want this game over. They'd like to make a visit to the concession stand as Clippard launches one to the screen. And then get ready for game 2, and so do we. Tyler with that very good ERA ties Slayton for the team high in appearances with his 9th. Ryan Braun's coming up. The good news is neither Braun nor Fielder can tie this game. And that run on the Ian Desmond homer in the 8th inning makes you feel a lot better about what's going on right now. Bases loaded, 1 out. No reason to be concerned about any base runners. It's Clippard and Braun. Ryan Braun today, walking last time, 1 for 3 before that. Gears it up with the bases loaded, batting .340.
I mean, really, the only thing that's going to get you in trouble right now if you're Tyler Clippard is balls. You got to go right after these guys, throw strikes. Whatever happens, happens. You didn't create the situation that's out there. You have to pretend like you're facing Ryan Braun with nobody on and 1 out, and a 6-run lead.
Well, he's working slow. You'd like to see a reliever come in and have some presence to go after the guy with the bat. He gets Braun to pop it up. Pudge is over to have a look, but it's going to hit the top of the dugout.
See that feeling right there that Pudge is so fired up after his jack that he would have climbed on top of the dugout to get that. He didn't want to stop right there. Pudge hustling over. He knows he's got game 2 off. He's still fired up from his jack, finding the fence, finding the dugout steps. He wanted to get on top of the dugout and make the play.
Knowing Pudge, he'd like to play game 2.
He would. Absolutely.
Clippard throws another strike and Braun fouls it.
That's all you got to do. Pound the strike zone right now. Be aggressive out there on the mound. Get the ball, throw it.
And of course, Gomez walked to lead off the inning. The pinch hitter Kataris at second after he singled. And then the walk that really got in Jim Riggleman's craw was Craig Counsell ahead of Braun and Fielder on 4 pitches. Bases loaded, 1 out, and a pitcher's count here of 1 and 2 to a very good hitter. Target in. That would mean fastball. And he gets him to pop it up on the infield. Infield fly rule in effect. Espinosa lost it. There's a force at second. But when the infield fly rule is in effect, the batter is automatically out, and the other runners advance at their own risk. So it will be a run with Gomez scoring and Kataris going to third. Danny Espinosa lost that ball in the last second in the sun.
He has no idea where it is right now. That's a sinking feeling as an infielder, as an outfielder. You get a pop-up, and all of a sudden it's right in the middle of the sun. And if you can't see it, the best thing to do sometimes is make a scene out there. Start waving like I can't see it, because somebody around you might have seen the baseball, and they can help you out. Somebody with a different angle.
And, of course, the infield fly rule is so that on a ball on the infield, an infielder wouldn't let it drop on purpose, and you could get a double play or a triple play in a ball like that because the runners aren't going anywhere. But in that case, Gomez scores, Kataris goes to third, Braun is out, and Counsell stays at first base, 2 outs. And all that matters is 2 outs. So it's Prince Fielder against Tyler Clippard. Missing low, 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a base hit that'll score a run. Over to third base goes Counsell. It's now 8-4. Casey McGee will be the hitter. And now it is a save situation if Riggleman would make a move, but he's not going to make a move to the left-hander Burnett against the right-hander McGee. He could do it if Kotsay comes up.
And Tyler Clipper getting the pitch right down the middle to Prince Fielder.
That looked like a high changeup just sitting there. Casey McGee is 3 for 4 today. And he's 5 out of 9 in this series. You know, the time that infield fly rule used to get a little dicey was in the old days of AstroTurf, because if that ball bounces, it goes about 30 feet up in the air. All the runners would have a chance to advance. But in this case, on the grass, it fell right at Espinosa's feet. Now the Nats need an out to get this thing over.
Sometimes that 27th out is the toughest one to get, and maybe if you're Tyler Clippard, you weren't planning on coming into this baseball game, but as a reliever, you always have to be on red alert. Yeah. You always have to be ready down there. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, he probably didn't think he was going to be pitching. These 2 runs charged to Godin. He's also responsible for Counsell at third, and Clippard throws a fastball in there. Ball game just a minute or 2 short of the 3-hour mark here. And a good crowd on hand, waiting for the final out here in game 1. Pudge asking for time. For about the last 10 feet, the ball enters a shadow cast by the light standard on the third base roof.
That doesn't really matter. It's when there's all kinds of darkness between you and the mound, or maybe darkness behind the mound. It's too late at that point for it to matter.
One ball and 2 strikes to McGee. That's well out of play right side. Phillies, by the way, won that game over the Marlins 3-2 in Philadelphia. Nationals trying to put this one away here. Changeup.
He said it was a good day to hit. 24 hits, 12 runs.
Yeah, the Brewers have actually out-hit Washington now, 13-11. That'll do it. A great fastball by Clippard. And in 3 hours, the Nationals beat Milwaukee to win the series 8-4. Now in a half hour, they'll try to sweep the doubleheader and get over the 500 mark.